Hi everyone and welcome to 5 Points Blue. I'm Kelsey Charles, joined by Christy Scales, Nita Shrikant, and Miss Lindsay Cash. The Dallas Cowboys are 6-1. They continue to stack wins, coming off a big win against divisional opponent, the New York Giants, this past weekend. The defensive line throughout this season has been pretty good at pressuring the quarterback, but they really haven't been tallying the sacks like they thought. The Eagles were able to put Eli Manning on the ground 6 times when they played them, but the Cowboys weren't able to do so themselves. So is this something to be concerned about as we look forward to the rest of the season?
Only 7 sacks in 7 games, only 3.5 by the defensive line, and Henry Melton, 1.5 sacks, is the leading sacker for the entire team. But so if you just look at that statistical line, yes, there is concern. But you talk about the pressures. 75 pressures so far through 7 games. Tyrone Crawford and Jeremy Mincey are nowhere to be found on the statistical line for sacks. They don't have any yet this year, but they each have 17 pressures. So that's one thing that the coaches talk about, is affecting the quarterback, getting him out of rhythm. They did a great job against Drew Brees, got him off his game. They did the same thing with Eli Manning last Sunday against the Giants, and it was enough for the win.
Christy, I'm with you on that. I don't think it's too much of a concern. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems that Marinelli really has the rotation thing going on. Heavy rotation. There's no headlining pass rusher with the Cowboys.
It's a hand-in-hand thing, pass defense and pass rush. A good pass rush makes your defensive backfield better. The Cowboys' pass defense is ranked 12th in the league this year. Compare that to last year when they were bottom of the barrel. So again, it's not showing in the sacks, but it is showing up in the pressures, and it's showing up in the statistics for pass defense.
Yeah, the interior of the defensive line right now is getting a lot of the pressure. It's just the outside linemen that are not getting to the quarterback and kind of trapping them in the pocket right now. That's the issue.
It's important to note that DeMarcus Lawrence will be returning to practice this week, and he's going to be kind of getting in the lineup. We're expecting him. Do we know when the timetable?
Well, he cannot return until week 9.
Okay.
So if he's able to practice well this week and next week, he would be eligible to play in London against Jacksonville. That's because at the beginning of the season, actually he had broken his foot in training camp. Before the start of the regular season, the Cowboys put him on injured reserve / designated to return. Sounds really technical, but what it means is he has to sit out the first 8 games of the season and is eligible to return in week 9.
There's a lot of reinforcements coming back. You got, Amobi Okoye, you have DeMarcus Lawrence, and even Josh Brent's going to be making a return.
It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Another fun fact for all you Cowboys fans out there, I know you probably are paying attention to this. DeMarcus Ware has 7 sacks this season, and this whole entire team have 7 sacks too. So hopefully they'll be able to change that stat line a bit. But I think pressuring the quarterback is going to be something that's really important as we look forward to the Redskins game. You're not sure who your quarterback's going to be. I'm pretty positive it's Colt McCoy, who really hasn't had a lot of NFL experience. RG3 is listed as questionable, so not giving him a lot of time in the pocket to think and make plays and kind of forcing him to force things, quite honestly, is going to be, I think, key in this upcoming weekend.
Here is why I think that the Redskins could be deadly. Yes, they have 2 wins, but I said deadly because they are so desperate to do anything to stop what the Cowboys have going. They aren't trying to keep up with a win streak. They're not listening to outside people. They're on their 3rd string quarterback, who was emotional in his last press conference because he's just happy to be playing the game of football again. They lost Brian Orakpo. I expect them to try to run the ball, keep the ball away from the Cowboys offense as much as they can. And like I said, no pressure. They're just trying to mess up what the Cowboys have going.
So I think this Cowboys team has found more than one way to beat other teams too, and we've seen that in how they've been using their secondary players. Gavin Escobar is coming off of arguably his best game. Terrence Williams is having a great year. You've got Joseph Randle, Lance Dunsmore, and they're making big plays. So how important are these secondary players to the Cowboys in stacking up these wins?
Well, Terrence Williams had only 1 catch against the Giants, and it was for a touchdown. And 2 of 3 catches by Escobar went for touchdowns. It reminds me of a player from about 6 years ago. His name was Tony Curtis. He was a backup tight end to Jason Witten. Everybody is a backup to Jason Witten if you're tight end on this team. He had 3 catches for 18 yards the entire season. All 3 went for touchdowns. Now that's making the most of your opportunity. But it's all about having a role and stepping up when your number's called. And the thing about Terrence Williams, his 2 huge catches the touchdown last week, and then the big catch on third down in the Seattle game-winning drive. Yeah, the toe tap Williams.
Yes.
That's right. And it was when Romo was extending the play, right, escaping pressure. Same thing with the touchdown last week. And so that's a real chemistry kind of thing. That's sticking with your route. That's not giving up on it, and it's that simpatico with your quarterback. And he's only in his second year. That's what's so cool about it.
And Kelsey and I were talking in the hallway this week, and Derek Dooley came up to us and said, "Hey guys, how about Terrence Williams? He's proud of him. He's
Sure.
a second-year
Absolutely.
player, and he's playing his role very well behind Des Bryant." And it was cool to see Coach Dooley proud of him.
Well, not only are these players making big plays on the field, I think it's impacting kind of the fan base too. I know you've talked to me about it, like some of the social buzz these guys have created, like a Terrence Williams, and then with Joseph Randle and his big run in the Seattle game. I mean, it's not only rallying the team, but also rallying the fan base is kind of what I've noticed too.
Yeah, it's not just Des Bryant, Jason Witten, or DeMarco Murray anymore. It's also Terrence Williams, Joseph Randle, Gavin Escobar is starting to get some publicity this week as well.
So definitely don't count them out. But it'll be interesting to see how these guys perform this week against the Redskins. That is all we have time for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Stay up to date with all the latest going on with the team and around Valley Ranch on 5pointsblue.com. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.